Alright, welcome back everyone. I hope everyone is healthy and safe, and you guys are doing well. At this point, everyone is pretty much about to be locked down if you're not yet. Alright, so I did some back of the envelope math, because I was hoping this isn't really as bad as it seems, because I'm kind of worried this becomes the new normal. Being stuck in your home and being under martial lockdown. And the only reason I'm worried is because it's not just the nano zombie, it's the economy and what they're doing, and a lot of people are not gonna go back to work. So whatever measures are implemented now for the nano zombie are likely to stick around for and that's what worries me the most. So alright, so I wanted to put in what percentage of people show no symptoms for the nano zombie. It's 80%. I also saw 30% or 33%. And I did some calculations here. So, according to the Hopkins, right now we're about... So I rounded the numbers all up, okay? So let's say 330,000 globally. Now, what else I did is, because what screws up the numbers and the stats the most is China. So to get a better calculation, I subtracted all of China's numbers, like all of it. There are 81,000 confirmed. There are 3,300 deaths, and there are 88% recovered, which is 71,000. I just deleted all of that, and I subtracted it from the total numbers. Now take this with a grain of salt, okay? Because I'm going off of their numbers, which is not correct either, and I'm going to talk about that a little more. So I just subtracted all that from the total numbers globally, okay? So why am I doing this? I want to get a better idea of what the real case mortality is, okay? Percentage-wise. So after subtracting 81,000 from 330,000 total, right? So I subtracted China, comes to 250,000. Then I subtracted China's deaths, and it comes to 3,300, and total recovered globally would come to 72,000. Okay. Now let's do the first calculation with 33% of people show no symptoms, and then we will do a calculation where 80% of people show no symptoms. So if the world minus China, right, has 250,000 cases, well, if you added 33% to that, because those people have no symptoms, then the total right now would be, based off of their data, would be 333,000. Total deaths would be 11,100, and that would come to a 3.3 death rate 3.3%, which is bad. I was hoping it would be less than 1 or something. That's based off of that data. Like, grain of salt, guy. Like, I'm not saying any of this is right. It's not. It's absolutely not. But I'm trying to get a feel for how many people are gonna, and then later on there will be more waves of this, and hopefully it'll mutate to be weaker, and then hopefully we'll have better medications. But that's what I see right now. It's 3.3%, and it also depends on the country's health, right? There's a lot of obese people in the U.S., so it might be higher there. Now they do say it is with this happen. You're more at risk if you have preconditions. So everyone's eventually going to get this. I'm just wondering if those preconditions are the real reason they're passing away. It's not really the nano zombie that's doing it, or maybe it is a combination of both, right? I mean, I'm just, they don't really put out that much data, or you don't know what's true anymore. Anyways, so that's with 33. So what I'm trying to say is, of so far confirmed 250,000, right? And then I added 33% because those people have zero symptoms or very mild, where they're not going to go and get tested. So those people are just walking around, or they're not even included in the data. So I added it to make it total 333,000 globally, minus all of the China data, because that is complete lies, and it just screws up the math. So let's do the 80%. So 80% have mild or no symptoms, where they wouldn't, go and get tested. Well, that would bring it to 450,000 globally, minus all the China data again. And then that death ratio drops to about 2.4%, 2.46, which is better. It's a lot better, but it's still pretty high. It's not good. That's a lot of people in the world. So that's with an 80% of people showing no, symptoms. Now, granted, Europe and the US, I mean, they just really started ramping up testing. And, don't be so despaired. I mean, Japan has pretty much gotten this under control. They stopped it. Although it's weird that their recovered's only 18%. South Korea's recovered is only 29%. But, their rates are looking around Japan is 3.3. South Korea is only 1.2. So they did the best so far. Obviously, if we look at Spain and Italy, I mean, Italy just looks devastated. It's 8.6 death, and then Spain is 5.1. Now, you also have to consider their infrastructure, their healthcare system, right? And, yeah. Iran is at 7.3. So, US is only at 1.3 right now, but they just started ramping up testing in major cities like Cali and New York. So the US is going to explode in confirmed. But only 260 fatalities there, which is not high at all, considering there's 330 million Americans, right? So that's not that bad. That's not bad at all. So as these numbers climb, the confirmed climb much more, hopefully this ratio of deaths will fall much more. Okay? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which I know I'm not doing this right, or I'm not figuring out. This is like back of the envelope math. So I did a hypothetical number. Because, there's no testing going on in Africa or anywhere, and we just started testing in Europe and the US especially. So I bumped it up to 1 million. So if 1 million are, let's say, confirmed, have it, and we just used the 11,100 deaths, then it would be around only 1.5%, give or take, like probably half a percentage. So 2% to 1%. Now you could double that again, right? If it was 2 million are already infected, which is very possible now, then you could divide that by 2 again, which would give you like 1.25, right? Or would give you one, yeah. So no, that would give you 0.75%. So that would give you under 1%. All right, I did that in my head. Anyways, but it's too early. It's really too early. In the end, I really want to see this thing under 1%, because then we could go back to normal fairly quickly. And I'm hoping the human immune, not the human immune system, but more so it's both, right? The human immune system adapts to this, like herd immunity. But for that to be the case, this has to run through pretty much everyone. The problem is, the more people this thing runs through, the more mutations and the more chances of it coming or mutating. There's going to be a couple strands that might just be as virulent, meaning it just spreads as fast as the rest, but takes out more people percentage-wise. That's the scary thing about all this. So in that case, everyone being locked in their homes, just in case if that happens, is the right thing to do. As draconian as it is. And believe me, I don't like it. Now, I did watch Jeff's TDV video, and he's right that this crisis, this event, the nano zombie, it does check every box for like the elite, right? The psychopath elite, right? The globalists. It does. It just checks every single box. This gets them everything they've ever wanted, possibly. If they play all their cards during this event, because people are going to be, when people are afraid, their primal instincts take control, and they will say, make it stop, I don't care, I'll give you everything, my freedoms, everything, just make it stop, right? And this is also the perfect cover for the financial reset, which was going to happen like around this time anyways. My TA was telling me for months prior, the yield curve was inverted. Even the TD9 indicator 9 sell was on a sell signal last month. The markets were going to reset anyways. And this, ironically, perfectly timed with the market reset, right? So no one gets to blame. And now all the corporations who are doing buybacks so the CEOs could jump out with their golden parachutes are now all getting bailed out. And not just that, so are the people, which is insane. We're going to have There's actually a very high chance we're going to get high. Like, we're going to get runaway inflation. That's given. That's perfect. Because now there's just endless money chasing fewer products as the global supply chain's broken. And it's probably not going to come back online for a while. Long time. If ever. And there's going to be more cash chasing fewer goods, which is the definition of inflation. So check this out. We'll have Mnuchin. We'll have up to $4 trillion of liquidity that we can use to support the economy, he told Fox News on Sunday today. Today is March 22nd. And those are broad-based lending programs. Broad-based. Okay. We can leverage our equity working with the Fed Reserve, he added. So, you know, that great economist Milton Friedman, he was joking when he said helicopter money. He was joking, but that's what he said when he was talking about Keynesian economics, because eventually it'll lead to helicopter money. He was joking, but on mainstream media, they're literally saying helicopter money like it's a real thing. But that's what they're doing. Because they've lost their mind. They don't know what else to do. There's nothing else they could do. But that's why. They're panicking. They're doing the only thing they know how to do, and that is just print. So the stimulus package will also include an average payment of $3,000 to a family of 4. I wonder if that's for everyone or just people who lost their job. I don't know. As well as enhanced unemployment, and $4 trillion in liquidity to support the economy. $4 trillion. Like, the balance sheet at this point is about to double. And then once lending starts back up again, if it does, then the money supply will just explode times. It has a multiple of 70 if you understand fractional reserve lending. Actually, it's even more than that. It's actually unlimited. Because the banks no longer need reserves. So they could just, if they don't need reserves, they can lend as much money as they want to everyone. I mean, this is all going to lead to I don't know, hyperinflation. The only reason that they're doing this is because they think they can get away with it because the dollar hasn't fallen yet in value. And they actually want the dollar to fall a little bit. Because if it doesn't, then the emerging markets and the rest of the world economy implodes, and that'll come here anyways. And I don't know, because the dollar is still the world reserve, right? It's just insane. Oh yeah, and they're talking about giving out everyone these debit cards, where you get a stipend every day or every month. It's MMT, right? And you have to understand, once they do this, there's no going back. There's no incentive for people to work once you get welfare like this. Why would you? Just sit on your ass at home and do nothing, play video games, chill on Netflix while you're getting thousands every month. And just go buy things you don't even need, and we'll get hyperinflation. I don't know. And by the way, if he doesn't get reelected, there's no way in hell the lefties are going to take away all of this welfare. And they will ramp up even more money printing. I mean, it's good. Like, the toilet paper right now that is gone in all the stores, those people, they're actually brilliant. It's kind of like buying gold and silver, because toilet paper is going to be worth more than the dollar. It already actually is, right? Yeah. It's insanity. Unfreaking believable. So when this happens, when you get martial lockdown here, you lose all your civil liberties and rights, like everything. They can do whatever they want. Literally. Concerns Yeah, I mean, you guys could read that. So there are like people who are videotaping themselves with oxygen tubes, and there's young people, athletes who are in serious condition. I mean, that is scary. I won't lie. And this is why I told you guys you need to take this seriously for over 2 months. I'm one of the first who started talking about this like no, uh, like 9 weeks, 10 weeks ago. So let's look at the markets a little bit here. So my last video was kind of optimistic. I'm like, all right, we hit peak panic. Well, in a way we did. After the panic comes anger and frustration. Because everyone's going to be locked down. So you're not going to be panicking in the essence of, because you're just locked up in your home. I think people will really panic if the market just keeps falling and the shelves keep going emptier and emptier after as time goes along, which is probably likely and going to happen. Will we see a bounce on the market as I was anticipating? I still think we're going to get a bounce. I do not know how high or how strong. I think the bounce will happen more likely. Well, it depends if there's some announcement that, I mean, the Chlora Queen, whatever stuff. I don't want to say the real name. That's good because it's cheap. And of course, MSM media is just to attack Trump. They're saying, "Oh, this could be fatal." I mean, yeah, if you take too much of anything, but if you only take small doses, and the stuff's cheap, you could easily make it. It worked in South Korea. South Korea got it all under control, and Trump's doing the right thing to ramp up production on that, so everyone could have it once they become severely ill. So that's good news, which the market should bounce on that just alone a little bit. But the long-term ramifications of all of this is the market is going to eventually crash. I mean, maybe it'll go up based in dollar terms because the dollar is going to crash. I mean, but eventually this will happen, right? It will. Or let's say they do sacrifice the dollar completely, like Venezuela. And well, in that case, the market would rally much higher, make new highs. But if you went to sell your stocks, it still wouldn't have any purchasing. Like you would get, when you take your paper gains, right? Your profits, you get cash. And then, but if your cash is worth like 99% less, it has 99% less value, then it doesn't matter if your stocks went up 100%. If the dollar fell like 80%, then relatively speaking, you only had a 20% gain, right? Did I just do that math wrong? So if the dollar falls, let's say 80% in value compared to today, right? But your stocks went up 100%. Your portfolio went up 100%. When you go to sell, you only had a 20% gain, but you also have to pay taxes on that on your 100% gain. So in the end, you still lost money. Get it? you had no gains. So something like that maybe. If we get like hyperinflation, stock market, everyone just, I don't know, guys. This is just more than likely. I still think the market's just gonna dump. I mean, relatively speaking, companies are just gonna disappear and go bankrupt. Small businesses are gonna be the first. Even with all this liquidity, the only thing I support, the only bailouts I support are small businesses. The big companies could all fail because they're the problem. pretty much it. My last video was still good. I just wanted to talk about this for a second. Here's the dollar. Giant cup and handle on the monthly. Maybe another month or two of upside. Maybe not. It all depends on how much more QE they keep announcing. Because here's the thing, New Zealand just announced QE and UK. Everyone's doing QE, so the dollar's still going to stay strong because it's still the world reserve, right? I think, by the way, this entire thing has nailed a coffin into China. Well, this was the last nail. I think China's done. They're not going to recover strongly from this. I mean, nobody is. Neither is the U.S. or Europe. Nobody is. Emerging markets may do the best, which is like South America, Mexico, Vietnam. I don't know. Maybe they will emerging markets, but that's like a long way away, like a few years at least. Anyways, what's going to do the best, I believe, is gold and silver because they're rolling out a $1 trillion platinum coin or something. I'm going to post that in the newsroom. They're talking about issuing, so backing every trillion they print with bonds or something. I don't know. They're going to make a platinum coin. I mean, platinum was only a thing in like the late 90s when rappers had platinum grills. Platinum is used in industrial usage, but not that much. Like high-end stuff, because it's so expensive and so rare. So they're making it a monetary metal, but either way, it's bullish for gold and silver because the rest of the world wants to go back to a gold standard, and silver will be the poor man's gold, and platinum could be, I don't know, government debt. So that's what it's looking like. Now, all the people who think they're going to roll out some digital currency, global, it's not going to work because no one's going to trust it because the current fiat currency system is about to screw everyone over, all the savers and people who think that they have purchasing power. So why would they trust some digital vaporware, right? Even though they're talking about banning cash, but are people going to trust their vaporware, ones and zeros? No, they'll trust it even less. I don't know what's worse, guys, that we all come out of this and everything tries to go back to normal, or if this just turns into a big Mad Max, like everything just goes to complete crap. Because at least that point, I mean, everyone will become self-sufficient and we will all have little gardens in our backyard. By the way, you should think about that. You should start planting seeds today so you could harvest them in a few months. And hopefully no one will steal it. Alright, so hopefully the markets stay open this entire time so we have something to do. Maybe we could just keep making money for the next like few months where we're all locked down, and then I don't know. I'm worried that we'll get locked down. Then maybe like 6 weeks from now, something like that. Then they let us all more free, and then going towards fall and winter, we get a stronger second wave, or even a mild second wave, and we have to do all this all over again. And there's no way the economy is going to be able to handle that. If it could even handle what's currently happening. There's like, at some point, they have to stop printing because confidence in the paper will just disappear. Because people are physically and visibly going to see prices rise and rise and rise. Okay? Anyways, on the daily, gold is on 8. Monday, tomorrow, it's on a 9 buy signal. So I'm Hopefully we could get above 1600. I mean, at this point, gold should be like at 5,000 an ounce, but you know, the damn paper markets, the premiums on the physical stuff is pretty high. So this all happened in 2008, but you know what? The dump and correction in gold and silver, well, in silver it's pretty bad, but because they view it as industrial metal, but in gold, not so bad. Nothing like 2008. So there's a lot of strength, and it's going to happen quick. So if you don't have mining stocks, if you don't, and the mining companies are still running, they're taking precautions. Thankfully, those type of companies are very, you know, they don't have that many employees running them, and they're pretty secluded from society. Like the mining companies, you know, they're not in cities or anything. They're out in the wilderness, and they, you know, they have crews, and they're all taking precautions, and they could keep running. The supply chain, you know, it's going to have to keep running. People are just going to have to wear masks and be very careful. The supply chain is one of those things that has to keep running. So, unfortunately, people are not going to be able to go buy physical now. Maybe they could order online. They could get shipments through the mail. But if even that stops, the only option left to get exposure to metals like gold and silver would be stocks. And that could actually work out for our benefit, for us who are trading and speculating. All right. So that's about it. All my TA from my last video still stands. I did that, I believe, Friday. So smash some likes, leave anything in the comment section. Go to my website if you're interested in gold, silver mining stocks and the wealth transfer, if it hopefully works and happens as we expect it still. I mean, at some point we are going to have to return to some sort of normality. And we're also shorting the shit out of all kinds of things. And there's going to be some more shorting opportunities. There's some going long on some things. Like I went long on Guild, right? I caught that before everyone else. This was one of my awesome trades. I already took profits. I'm not trading this anymore. I took profits up around 76 and 80. And we literally bought it at the low. So sometimes I do get those life-changing gains, and I did options, so I leveraged up like 100x. Yeah, so I had an average gain of 23 to 30%, which is awesome. And then there was others like RCL, Royal Caribbean. I bought that weeks ago. I shorted it. And it was up here around $115. I remember it was 115. So, and you know, these opportunities they don't come often. You wait for these types of opportunities for years. Yeah, it dropped 83%. This one made me a ton of money with a put. All right, guys. Yeah, if you're interested, you guys could watch me trade and learn. I mean, you don't watch me live or anything. I just post what I'm thinking and doing. I give ideas. I don't give you exact like entry prices or anything like that, because those don't work. Because everyone has different experience, risk tolerance, and you know, there's different types of stops. There's trailing stops. Some people can handle drawdown. Some people can't emotionally. When someone gives you direct calls, those never work. All right, guys. Until next time.